And I'd like to welcome from Hallmark Care Homes some amazing, amazing individuals who contribute every day to making their residents have an amazing life, and also they equally have very inspiring careers as well in the sector too. So I will start first of all by asking, actually, let's start with Chelsea first of all. Chelsea, can you tell us about your role and exactly how you got into care, please? And please do use the mic and make sure they're close enough. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Chelsea, the Deputy Manager at Hutton View Care Home. I've been there since it opened in September 2020. Is that right? Yeah, my tin's nodding. I started care when I was 18 years old. I studied level 3 health and social care at college, and I wanted to be a midwife. I thought I wanted to be a midwife, but they didn't accept my offer. So I was very disheartened and wasn't sure what path to go down, and I got a job in a care home as a care assistant. And then 7 years on, I'm proud to say that I'm the Deputy Manager at Hutton View for Hallmark. So yeah,
Wow.
It's been a journey.
That's amazing. Chelsea, before I ask anybody else, but can you just show me some of the highlights of your career working at Hutton View?
Oh, there's so many, Anita. I think every day is a highlight for me, if I'm honest, working at Hutton View. Seeing the residents' faces every day, making a difference, working with the team that I do, having all of these inspiring individuals around me. Every day is a highlight, and I'm very lucky to be working for Hallmark.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Chelsea, for sharing your journey there. I hope that's inspired some of you the way in which things don't always turn out in life as you expect it to. I remember I wanted to be a dentist, or maybe my mum wanted me to be a dentist more. I didn't get the grades, so I did biomedical engineering instead at university. And then I still didn't want to go into research, and I became a science teacher because I had a passion for science. So things don't always turn out how you plan them to, but when they do, wow, life is amazing if you embrace all the opportunities that you have that come your way, and really grow your mindset in that way. And later on, Jermaine will be explaining, or will be sharing, how you can really grow your mindset in a positive way. Thank you for that, Chelsea. And next, can I ask Courtney, same for you, Courtney, how did you end up working all the way in Wales in Greenhill Manor?
Well, I started working in a career in care when I was 17 years of age. I worked as a domiciliary carer out in the community, working with young children and adults. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Something happened, circumstances changed. I moved back to Merthyr, started my career then in Hallmark in Greenhill Manor Care Home, and now I am currently a nursing assistant. I'm a manual handling trainer, a fire safety trainer, and I'm also a student nurse as well, studying with the Open University, which is obviously with Hallmark's help. So yeah, that's where I am.
That's incredible. What an interesting journey you've had. And you're with Open University. Tell us more about that, with the nursing that you're doing.
We had the opportunity to go for an interview with Hallmark's help, and we got shortlisted, 4 of us, and now I'm studying with the Open University to become a nurse.
That's brilliant. And I hope, thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope that you've had a chance to go to the stand, the exhibitor Open University. Tracy's here. Where's Tracy? One of our colleagues there. And there's some amazing courses that you can study, as well as Regent College London, who are also got an exhibition stand too. Oh, thank you for that, Courtney. Can I ask Charlie next what your experience has been like? Because I remember just talking to you, Charlie, and you shared about how you didn't even complete school. And I was, wow, Charlie, you're a manager of Anisha Grange Care Home in Billericay, which Rahina Bower Park School have visited, I think, on about 5 or 6 occasions. So tell us more about your journey from leaving school and coming into social care.
Yeah, sure. So I'd always wanted to be a nurse. And I left school when I was 15 and didn't get any qualifications. And I was living in a flat on my own in East London, working full-time in a fast food restaurant. And I'd got to about 18 and thought, I don't want to live like this anymore. I need to do something worthwhile, which is when I got a job in a care home, working with children with learning disabilities. And I did that for about a year. And the care company paid for me to do my NVQ, which gave me the points that I needed to get into university. So then at 19, I went to university and trained to become a nurse, and that was 10 years ago. I then spent the first 6 years of my career working in A&E, and then moved over to Hallmark from the NHS 5 years ago, and I've just progressed and now I'm a general manager.
Oh, that's an awesome journey. Thank you, Charlie, for sharing that. I admire your honesty around that, you know, leaving school and not having any GCSEs at the time and just training. You've really found your way, and you know, I wish you all the success in managing and continuing to grow and develop within Hallmark. Thank you for sharing that, Charlie. And Sarah, how did your journey start?
Well, I work in Greenhill Manor, and I done a college course from the age of 16 to 18, which was Health and Social Level 3. And then at the age of 18, I applied to Greenhill, got the job, and I've been there for 15 years.
15 years.
I'm now a senior carer, and I've also done my Level 5 in Health and Social through Hallmark as well. And hopefully, as my career progresses, I might be able to also do the nursing that Courtney's also doing as well. So I might also have that opportunity.
I love it, Courtney. I love the way, Sarah, so I love the way you're looking forward to the future and you can see yourself going down the nursing route as well to really develop yourself. And 15 years
15 years
Hallmark.
in June,
That's something to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Thank you very much for that, Sarah. So I think it gives us a great opportunity now to open the floor, to ask any questions to any of our inspiring young leaders, and also towards Liz, if there's any questions for Liz. Please do raise your hands, and mics are roving, so if we can get some questions, that would be really great. Ask anything you want. That's what they're here for, to be open and honest with you, to really inspire you. We have a question just over here. It's young, that's it, a young woman with the white top. Thank you. What's your name, first of all? And what school are you from, or what college are you from?
My name's Esther, and I'm from CTK Emmanuel. What qualifications did you guys get in? As in, like, what level in college did you get?
Who's this question for?
It's for the deputy manager of the care home.
So that's for Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I studied level 3 in college, health and social care, and I had 5 GCSEs, A to C. That's all the qualifications I have, and I'm currently studying my level 5 at Hallmark.
All right.
Thank you.
Does that help? Yeah? Great, thank you. Any more questions? Question there. Any questions for Liz?
Don't be shy.
Come on, leaders in health and social care. Oh, question just over here. Is there a mic on that side, on the right side? So if you give your name, your organisation, and the question.
My name is Dudley Sawyer. I spoke earlier. I'm from People Care Services, but I also support various campaigns within social care. It's very interesting with a sort of careers day for social care. Can I ask the 4 individuals where they hope to go in social care and what their ambitions are?
It's really hard for me to answer because I wanted to be a general manager and that's what I'm doing. So for the moment, I'd say that I'm quite happy where I am. So yeah, that's me. Chelsea?
I think for me, my next steps are definitely general manager. That will be a big challenge for me, but one that I'm looking forward to. As far as way ahead in the future, I'm not quite sure, but definitely would like to progress within the company and see how far I can go.
For me, I'd say I'm looking forward to finishing my nursing degree and then becoming a qualified nurse and staying with Hallmark then, and maybe considering if there's any other different pathways then on the peripatetic team maybe. It opens up different avenues, so maybe that's for me.
That's great.
My next step would be to perhaps go into my nursing and stay within Hallmark because they do offer some great opportunities and I do enjoy working in Greenhill, so yeah, I think I'd definitely become a nurse.
It's great PR for Hallmark Care Homes. And yes, a question there. We've got two questions there. One just with the gentleman there and with the lovely lady just over here. Thank you.
Hi, Finn Turner-Berry from the National Care Forum. I wondered for the panel, what are the key values you think every person thinking about a career in social care has to have? What are the key things you want to see in terms of values?
It's a great question. Who'd like to answer that?
I think for me, people just need to be kind and honest. And I think if you're kind and honest, that's where you need to start, really.
Oh, thank you. Any more values?
I'll incorporate the Hallmark values. So within Hallmark, there is a set of values, and I believe that all individuals should have these values if they want to work in care homes. And they're growth, openness, togetherness, integrity, individuality, and quality. That's how, so I believe that they should all be incorporated in a person. So.
That's good.
And courageous as well, because sometimes the job isn't easy.
Oh, thank you for your honesty there, Chelsea. Courageous, I love that. And we had one more question just over here. If we could take the mics here. And one with Charlotte.
Can I ask a quick question, or do you want her to go first?
Sorry, yeah, okay,
if
you can start, yeah,
Sure.
and then we'll pass it on to this
Sure,
young
thank
lady.
you. My name is Mohammed Damji. I'm from an organisation called Caring Crew. We're a domiciliary care provider. I'm really excited to see all the young people here, and hopefully all of you get involved in social care. It's a fun place to be in. Question for Liz. From a government perspective, how do you think the future looks for social care, and how can the Labour government add value for young people in social care?
Thanks. Personally, I think that we need to make social care as important as the NHS. We need to rethink it, because I think the last decade has been very dominated by issues about reforming social care, about the cap on care costs, whereas actually I think we need to start with what's our vision for the future, what type of help and support, not what do I want, but to the people who use services and their families want. Because in my view, you can't get good quality care unless the people who use services and their families help you design the system for the future. That's what I think. I think especially about this with something like dementia, when you lose your memory, your family is your memory. So they know what you like to eat, what you like to do, the music you like, the activities. So you can't give that person the support unless you really work equally with those families. So I think we've got to start with the users and the providers of services. We need to redesign it. And we need to say, look, currently we have 165,000 vacancies in social care. There's 133,000 vacancies in the NHS. Together, that's the population of Newcastle. We've got to stop that. We've got to make this, put this where it is, which is one of the most important and best careers of the future. And that's what I'd like to see a future Labour government deliver.
Well, thank you, Liz, for that. I think we have a few more questions there. Hopefully Liz will be able to answer some of those questions. But this young lady here, thank you. And then Charlotte Harding.
Yeah, this is also for Liz. I'm actually stealing the question from the gentleman at the back. He asked a question before and it wasn't able to be answered, and they said that when you come on that you might be able to answer it.
Was that Ed Ball saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it was.
So I'm a health and social care teacher. My background's also in sociology and psychology. And obviously teaching health and social care has been a very interesting experience as a young teacher. Might not look that young, but as a young teacher, I've come to realise that particularly in schools, social care and health care industries, if it's not anything to do with like being a doctor, being a nurse, or no, not a nurse, being a doctor, being a dentist, it's quite looked down upon. Even deciding to come here for my students was a bit of a fight, because they heard care conference and they were just like, so what, are we preparing children to go and become care assistants? That was the mentality. And it's quite devastating for me as a teacher, because obviously I know what it's like to teach on the A-level, I know what it's like to teach on a BTEC, which is what my students are doing, and knowing that a lot of the things that you're mentioning here are very much courses that in schools are very much frowned upon. And if you are going to encourage students to go into care, I think there's got to be a lot of kind of dispelling of how care is looked at, not only as a school, but also as a curriculum. Do you know what I mean? So there's two questions I wanted to ask. So although I'm hearing now there's much more focus on specialising when it comes to care, so the T-levels, for example, and the BTECs are now in kind of conjunction to each other. Teaching on the BTEC has been very good because it exposes my students to an array of different courses that they can do beyond sixth form and beyond secondary school. But with the T-levels, it seems like it's trying to kind of streamline students into a particular form of career, which I think is also going to be very devastating. But I wanted to know, what are your thoughts about that now? Is there going to be much a change in regards to hearing from teachers about how they're teaching BTECs and how T-levels might not be the best solution if you're going to really try and push the agenda for care? So yeah, that's my question.
Good question.
So you've obviously, you've obviously touched a nerve there with everybody else in the audience. We have to prepare young people for the future as it is, not as we would want it to be. And that means giving people a range of skills, because you will move into different jobs. Even if you choose the care sector, you will move around into different aspects of it. You don't want people narrowing too quickly, is my view. And that's the approach we need to take. I also think, I know you are a slightly older age group here. I've got a real bugbear about starting careers advice in primary schools. And the best thing I've ever seen was in my own constituency at Parks Primary, where we had an aspiration day, where people with lots of different careers came in and talked about what they did. The teachers didn't try to do it because they didn't know. They got the people in who had actually, and we had a frontline carer, we had a nurse, we had someone who ran their own business, we had an engineer. Right from, and we had a vet who was teaching the kids in foundation year with their little cuddly toys, opening their eyes and minds, because if they didn't know anyone who did the job, they'd never be able to do it. So I think we need to rethink careers advice and start young. And as far as skills go, you want a breadth of skills so that you can then be flexible in your career, and you want to know that there are opportunities. Nobody wants to be in the same thing, not nobody. Most people don't want to be in the same thing forever. So getting too narrow, too early, I think, in my view, is a mistake.
Well, thank you.
Just to add to that, is there any way that you can speak to, I don't know who you can speak to, but just at least relay this, because this is a big concept. Like, I'm a teacher, I'm thinking about 2024 stopping teaching. And that's purely because I do think the reason why I like teaching on the BTEC and the reason why I like teaching the courses I taught was that I was exposing students to a variety.
Yes.
And I feel like the T-levels, hearing what that's going to look like has already made me question whether, because it becomes, because when you start streamlining it, then you have to become a bit more of an expert, I think. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm not an expert in adult nursing. I'm not an expert. I've not been an ad. And I think the T-levels is trying to push that, and if that's what they're pushing.
Well, look, I will take this back to our shadow education team to make sure that they know directly from what you've said what your concerns are and feed in your views. That's part of my job. So I'll do that after today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Sorry, I didn't get your name again.
Priscilla Williams.
Priscilla Williams. Thank you for sharing that, because you may be driving change here. Just by having that thought, keeping it to yourself wouldn't have made a difference, but because you've now shared it, you could be contributing to something really big. So thank you. It's really important for you to share, I think, when you get a chance to, because that's where change starts to happen and we can start transforming minds at that point. Right, are there any more questions? Charlotte, and I think, let's do Charlotte next, please. Thank you. And there's one more just up there.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for sharing your stories with us. I'm finding it really inspiring, and as a teacher that is with this lot, it's good to hear your stories. My question is going to change the focus a little bit back to operational and day-to-day. So Sarah, I'd like to ask you a question, please. Just a typical day, what time do you start? What time do you finish? How do you fit in things like training? How do you fit in your further academic study as well? So if you could just outline for my students what a typical day might be, what time you're expected to start, and how you fit in everything that will then help you to move on to your next step.
Well, typically on a work day, my day starts at 7, so it's a 12-hour shift. So I'll stay till 7. They do have like shorter shifts. I could work 7-3. But if we got training, any training opportunities, as long as they cover us on the floor, we're able to go off on shift, and we can train on, on the job, so to speak. So that as long as we're covered, but I just try and squash it in where you can. You just got it. If you want to do it and you're motivated, you'll find the time and you'll just try and progress as best you can.
Thank you for that. I think it's just one last question now. There was somebody from the audience just over there, and then we'll move on to the next part of this afternoon. I will be announcing the winner from the Twitter, the best tweet, very soon. £100 is the prize. You got it all?
Okay.
Oh, and also, if there are any questions from live stream as well, I'm not sure if Susanna's been able to send me some questions. Oh, you've got questions, live stream. Okay, your question, thank you.
Hi, so I'm Tim from Chimera. I'm the biochemist outside with the microscope doing experiment. Guys, you've all shared your path into care and progressing through care. I'm wondering for everyone here, well, the students at least, what's been the weirdest path into care that you've heard about from any of your colleagues?
Weirdest path. I can probably share one if that's okay. When I met Emily on our Hallmark, what was it, Avnish we went to? 25-year bus tour. And Emily used to be a drama teacher. So she left teaching to become lifestyles lead in Brighton at Maycroft Manor Care Home. And she was amazing. It was a celebration, and it was afternoon tea, and they picked us up. She joined us on the bus as Alice in Wonderland's lead role, and I just was blown away by her acting. It was incredible. But she actually changed her career from teaching, for many, many years in teaching as a drama teacher, to now lead, and she absolutely loves it. In fact, Emily's still here, right? Early on. So Emily was part of the Upmont Theatre Company. She helped to design that play. So I thought that was really strange how someone came out of teaching and went as a lifestyle lead. So for me, that was a really encouraging story. And I think I've almost done the same. Left teaching after 20 years of science teaching in schools, and and kind of entered social care and charity sector. So I think nowadays people change sectors, not necessarily stay in the same trade. Like if you leave teaching, you can go into something else. And I think we'll be seeing more and more of that with our future generation and our next generation. And I don't think we should have fear in doing that. I think it's exciting to change sectors. That's why I'm merging education from my teaching experience with social care through charity, because they're the three sectors that I've been exposed to and have worked in. So that's made my life really fulfilling. So if that helps anyone, and I just want to keep joining them together. Thank you. Right, Liz, I have a question for you.
Ed Ball's plan.
No.
I'll have a word with him tomorrow.
I think it's, thank you very much, firstly, for joining us and sharing your wisdom with us. But do you have any additional advice for our young people and our next generation of students thinking about working in social care?
I think that knowledge, the skills that you get by dealing with people who are often, including their families, can be at difficult times. Sorry.
That the skills that you would get by working with people, their families, at often quite a difficult time, if you can do that and work in this busy, important sector, you could probably work in any sector. I mean, as personally, as a member of Parliament, the ability to deal with people is so important and actually often quite rare. You know, I want that in my team because the relationships with people are so important. I think that is one of the most important things you get in this sector. And the other thing I would just say is I'm desperate to have one of these events in Leicester because there are so many young people for whom this would be a great opportunity for the future. And I want my kids, I call them my kids, to have these chances too. So I'm going to be back with a request. But I've learned a lot. It's so great to meet you. And I just hope you all consider this as an opportunity for the future because it really is a great opportunity.
Great, thank you very much, Liz.